Hey baddies, it's your girl Natalie Odell. Welcome back to your favorite beauty channel on YouTube, where we talk everything beauty, lifestyle, fashion, and most importantly, self-love. So today we're gonna be having a little girls talk, little girls time, if you will, all right? We're gonna do some makeup together. You're gonna see how I create this very beautiful, sultry, I don't know, just kind of like golden brown look. And we're gonna talk about a kind of embarrassing time in my life. I wouldn't say embarrassing. Obviously, if it was too embarrassing, I wouldn't be sharing it with you guys, but it was definitely something that I felt bad about. I don't make very many bad decisions in my life because I'm very I don't know, like very particular, and I'm very cautious about the things that I do. But this situation was bad. I was bad. I was being very bad, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, so let's get into the video.
It's crazy, but let's go. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. I don't care if it snows. I guess I'm out of my mind. Take me back to Manhattan, back to the city where the magic happens. You wear a suit and tie, and I will wear my satin. When all the lights are bright and we won't even make.
Okay, so let's go back in time, back to when I was in high school. Y'all, it feels like forever ago. Like, that feels honestly like a completely different lifetime. It was crazy. But so in high school, I was all about, I don't know, like going to prom. Like, you know, when you're in school and everything feels like you don't have many responsibilities or things to like look forward to. So when we're talking about prom or homecoming or things like that, it's a huge deal. It's like something that you wait for all year round. I went to homecoming every single year of my high school, like, you know, career, okay? But when my senior prom came around, it was a big deal to me because it was the first year that I was actually going to be able to like afford the beautiful dress, and I just wanted everything to be perfect. But unfortunately, I wasn't really in a relationship. I know y'all are confused because y'all are like, wait a minute, what about the title? How did you cheat? So it was a tricky situation. There was this guy that I had in my TV production class, which is so funny that I really did take TV production. This guy, we're just gonna call him Brad. We're gonna call him Brad for this video. So Brad and I took the class together, and we both really, I don't know, we started off really just friendly and stuff, and then we kind of started flirting like all the time. To me, it was super innocent, and honestly, I didn't even think I was really his type. He seemed like he would have liked more like white girls, you know, like just not really me. To my surprise, that was not the case. So one day I was going to my TV production class, and my TV production class was in the library. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like way to the back, but you had to walk through the library, past all the bookcases and stuff like that to get to the TV production class. I feel like everyone in the class kind of ended up knowing about me and Brad, like how we would have like this little fun, innocent flirting back and forth. Basically, I'm walking through the library, and all of a sudden I see like people from the class, they're kind of like hiding behind like bookcases and stuff, and they're like, oh shh. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm just like, whatever, I'm in my own little world trying to make it to class on time, because you know I stopped and talked in the hallway, so I was late. So I get into the class, and then as soon as I walk in, my TV production teacher is like, hey Natalie, can you run this down to the office? And I was like, the nerve, I just got in here, like I'm trying to sit down, like, you know, and he's like, gives me a slip, and I was like, okay, like whatever, you know, I'm thinking, why can't you send somebody else? But I walk back out into the library, and I see this now huge canvas, like I don't know how to explain it. It's probably like the size of a sheet, and it's just hanging there, and it says Natalie Prom, and it has like a huge flower painted on it. It was beautiful. Like, this looked like expensive. It wasn't just on a sheet, it was on like actual material of like something that you would keep. It covered an entire wall and bookcases and everything. And still, the funny thing is, I was like, aw, how cute, somebody's getting asked to prom. I didn't know it was for me. So to my surprise, guys, this was for me. This whole thing, this whole like beautiful piece of art was for me. He actually was an artist too, so he would paint and stuff like that. So he hand painted it. It looked beautiful, and he comes from behind the whole thing with roses, and all of my classmates are standing around, like now they come out of hiding. It was so weird. And they're standing around like recording me and stuff, and I was just like, Brad! Like, I didn't know how to react, honestly, because it was a shock to me. I really didn't know that he liked me like that. And I mean, at least enough to go to prom. And the sweet thing is, the reason why he did all of that was because I told him that no one had ever done anything, you know, like romantic for me before. Like, even, you know, the previous year when I went to prom with my boyfriend that year, he really we just kind of knew we were going to prom together. He never did anything like super sweet and romantic. So it was a really cute gesture, and it was something that ended up going on the morning news, because I was in TV production when it happened, and the whole school ended up finding out about it. But you know, of course I ended up saying yes, because, you know, the pressure was on and everyone was there, and he was really sweet, and I really felt like I was gonna end up going to prom by myself, which I didn't really mind, because, you know, people kind of did that anyway, and it was more like a social event. You don't have to have a date. So we ended up planning that day what colors we were gonna wear and stuff like that, and I was excited. Like, we were gonna go in my new car, because I had just got a car, so I was like, okay, I'll pick you up, and we were planning like to take pictures before and everything. But in my mind, the whole time, I was still thinking we were going as friends. So fast forward to prom. Now, you know, I mean, the day starts out great. We go to my friend's house, who had like this huge mansion. Like, her family was extremely wealthy. We took pictures there, and it was just so nice, right? But, you know, it was still not like romantic. It really did feel like we were just friends. So throughout the whole time, now I guess I should give you a little backstory. There was this guy that I was like entertaining. I was talking to him, getting to know him more and stuff like that. And he used to go to my high school, but he was graduated now. So like, you know how it is, like when you end up dating like an older guy and he's not even in high school anymore, you feel so grown. And this guy was really attractive, and I just really liked him. And I had been like hanging out with him a little bit here and there, but not too much, because my mom didn't really play that, okay? So anytime we did hang out, it was at my house, and that was it. But we were texting and talking on the phone a lot. So he would make jokes about like how he kind of would wish he could have went to prom with me. And I was just like, well, you're not even in the school anymore. And he was like, all right, well, I want to see you still at prom. Like, I want to come and see like how you looked, like whatever the case may be. So now I feel like I'm getting caught up, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I let him know that I was going to prom with somebody, and you know, I mean, him and I weren't super serious, but it was still a little awkward having to tell him, well, I'm going to prom with somebody. And he was just like chill about it. He was like, oh, I don't care if you're going to prom with somebody. Like, I'll just come after prom. Like, we'll spend prom night together. So now I'm like, oh my God, like the scandalous life is catching up with me. I mean, meanwhile, I wasn't like doing anything with either of them, so. But it did feel like the scandal, you know, the drama. So we go to prom, and, you know, everything's all good and stuff, but I had this like anxiety the whole time, because I'm like, I don't know what time my other guy friend, let's call him Greg, I don't know. I didn't know what time Greg was going to be meeting up with me. I'm like, oh God, what if Brad ends up seeing him, and I was just like, all right, just enjoy your time. But honestly, you know, it wasn't like some super romantic like prom night. We just end up, you know, going to prom and kind of like going our separate ways. He hung out with his friends, I hung out with my friends. It was super chill and I had a great time. Basically, all right, prom is over and everyone in Miami decided, you know, to go to South Beach. We were gonna change clothes and we were gonna walk around the beach and whatnot. So at this point, I didn't see Greg, you know, when I came out of prom, and I was just like, okay, thank God, you know. But when we're walking around South Beach, I'm with Brad, and we're walking, and I end up walking past Greg, like in this small little tight spot. Like their sidewalk it was tons of people. I'm walking with Brad, and Greg and I are walking past each other like this on the same sidewalk. I was like, oh my God, like, and of course my friends and stuff are chuckling because they already know what's going on because I've been talking about my anxieties all night. And Greg was just like super smooth about it. He just looks at me and smiles and goes like this and just keeps walking. He didn't even say anything. I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Like, this is so weird. So, of course, my poor innocent prom date, Brad, had no idea what was going on. He didn't say anything. He's just basically happy to be there and happy to have a prom date. Because the thing about Brad is he was really cute, but I don't think he really knew he was. He was pretty sheltered and stuff like that. I don't think he ever had a girlfriend. He never, you know, like, I don't even know if he's ever kissed a girl. Like, he was very, you know, conservative, and his life was very just sheltered at home with his like siblings and his mom. So I ended up finding out, which made it even worse. This whole situation got more awkward that, you know, Brad planned on spending prom night with me. And he was like telling people that he was planning to lose his virginity to me that night, which I had no idea. Like, me and him were not like this. It was just so confusing to me. And I was just like, first of all, I planned on spending the night in the hotel room that I got with my homegirls. Like, that's what I was doing. I wasn't planning on doing nothing with anyone, or there was not gonna be any romance or anything like that. So I was confused from the whole thing that was happening. That he planned on spending, you know, the night with me, I was just kind of like, I don't know, like now I felt myself wanting to like separate with him and like kind of just go off with my friends and avoid him and stuff. So I started doing that, which probably wasn't the best thing to do. Like, as an adult now, I know like you probably should have just communicated with him that you felt uncomfortable with that and you guys aren't there. But I didn't. I just kind of ditched him and went off with my friends. So as I'm off with my friends, my guy friend Greg ends up hitting me up like, oh, where are you at? I'm trying to meet up with you. I saw you and your little date. Y'all are cute. Greg was like a bad guy. He just was so unbothered by my date. It was like honestly insane. So I ended up texting him back and I told him where I was at. I was with my friends at this diner. So Greg meets me at the diner. Ooh, this is some bomb highlight. Wow. So Greg meets me at the diner and, you know, I'm sitting there and, you know, all my friends already knew who he was because he was definitely the cool kid in school. So everyone's all chatting, having a good time, whatever. Greg and I start getting a little bit cozy and he ends up saying like, why don't you sit on my lap? And I was just like, you already know, like doing something like that in high school was just like a huge deal. So I was like, oh my God, am I gonna sit on his lap in front of everybody? Like the diner was full with other kids that went to my high school. Everyone walking by went to my high school because this was senior prom night and everyone was hanging out in the same spot. So I was just like, you know, I felt a little uncomfortable, but I decided to do it because I didn't want to look like lame and I felt like I would if I said no. And my friends were like, just sit on his lap, girl. Like, so I ended up sitting on his lap and now we're having an even better time. We're all laughing and stuff. the next thing that happened literally felt like a movie. It felt like a scene from a movie. Like, what are the chances of this happening? So we're sitting next to this giant window. That's where our booth is. And I'm sitting there laughing. I have my arm around Greg. Now, Brad is walking by outside and I see him and I was just like, oh my God, my heart's pounding. And then he literally sees me at the same time that I see him. And he's just staring at me, like, looking like he's about to cry. And all his friends were looking too, and they were just like looking in disbelief. And I was just like frozen. I was like a deer in headlights. I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, just staring back at him. Honestly, this situation was scarring. Like, probably not just to me, I'm sure mostly to him, but it made me really reevaluate what type of woman I wanna be. Definitely not one who hurts somebody's feelings like that. And it kind of, everything came crashing down on me and I was like, okay, Nat, like, you were ignoring all of the signs that he really liked you. I just now remembered before prom, he invited me to like a family gathering and I just thought he was inviting me because it was like all his family was getting together. But while I was there, all of his brothers were like teasing him like, oh, you got this pretty girl and all this other stuff. And I was just kind of like, I wonder why they are acting like we're together. We're not, you know. But baddies, yeah, that was a shameful moment. I feel like ashamed now. Not really ashamed, but I feel bad now. At the time, I was just kind of like, ooh, that was awkward. And I'm like asking my friends like, do you think he saw me? Like, and they're like, duh, like he literally looked like he was about to cry. And I was like, oh my God. But I still ended up having a good night. After that, I went and hung out with my homegirls and yeah. But honestly, nothing was ever the same between Brad and I again. We were still cool, like in class and stuff, but you know, he was like really distant and stuff. And I think it was because he actually really had feelings for me and I really didn't know it. So dang, do I wish I could go back and tell myself then, like, girl, like, he likes you. Do not, like, lead him on. But anyway, baddies, let's get into this love. Okay, baddies, I had so much fun telling this story and getting ready with you. I hope you guys were, you know, taking in some makeup tips or doing your makeup at the same time while you listen to the tea. Don't be like me, guys. Make sure you guys are paying attention to the signs and you're not leading people on, okay? I definitely learned from this situation, but make sure you guys are subscribed, turn those post notifications on, and comment below what other type of stories you guys want me to tell you while we get ready together. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video.